So we're diving into a really intense story today. On one side, you've got the World Cup, the biggest party on the planet. And on the other, you have a host country, Mexico, that's in the middle of a really violent security crisis. The big question we're all asking is the World Cup there actually safe?
I mean, just picture the World Cup for a second. It's supposed to be all about unity, right? A global celebration. For 1 month, the entire world just stops and watches. Millions of fans, billions of people tuning in. It is, without a doubt, the biggest party on Earth.
But then, you see images like this. This is what's been all over the news lately. Cartel violence just exploding across Mexico. We're talking burning buses, shootouts, happening right in the middle of the day. It's a completely different and, frankly, terrifying picture of a World Cup host nation.
So that brings us right to the heart of it. With stadiums all set to go and fans already planning their trips, could this wave of violence actually throw a wrench in the whole thing? Could it derail the World Cup? Let's break it down. Okay, so to really get a handle on the risk, we first have to understand what set off this latest explosion of violence. Because this wasn't random, not at all. It was a direct and incredibly brutal response to something the government did.
The fallout was immediate. I mean, look at Guadalajara. It's an official host city. The authorities there had to declare a code red. The streets went quiet, almost like a ghost town. Flights were canceled. And it was all because a military operation had taken out a very powerful cartel leader. This was the payback.
And what we saw is a textbook example of what security folks call a pushback. It's simple. The government lands a punch, and the cartel punches back, way harder. This isn't just mindless chaos. It is a strategic message. It's the cartel showing off its military-style power and basically screaming, "We still run things here."
But here's where the whole situation gets a little, well, counterintuitive. It all boils down to the strange paradox about money.
The general thinking is that criminal groups love chaos, right? Instability is where they do their best work. It's their natural habitat.
Well, maybe not so much. The reality, it turns out, is a lot more complicated because these groups aren't operating in a vacuum. They are woven deep into the fabric of the legitimate economy.
Just think about it for a second. An event like the World Cup is a tsunami of cash. Hotels, restaurants, transport, nightlife, every one of those sectors just explodes. And you can bet that criminal networks have their fingers in those pies. They might be laundering money through businesses or running protection rackets. So believe it or not, a peaceful and successful World Cup can actually be super profitable for everyone, and that includes the cartels. So you see, this isn't just about winning a gunfight on the streets. The bigger battle, and maybe the harder one to win, is happening in our minds. It's a battle for public opinion. Because the world sees this stuff and reacts in a heartbeat. The US puts out shelter-in-place advisories. Canada issues new travel warnings. Airlines start canceling flights. So even if the violence is contained to one area, the perception of danger goes global in an instant. And that perception has very real consequences. And this creates a huge problem for Mexico. See, on one hand, you have the on-the-ground reality. Mexico has hosted massive events before. They have sophisticated security systems. But on the other hand, you have the global perception, which is being fueled by these viral images of burning cars and official travel warnings. It creates this powerful and very damaging story of an unstable country.
All of this puts Mexico in a really, really tough spot. It's like they're facing this massive test, and the entire world has a front row seat. So here's the problem right now. Taking out a top cartel leader isn't some clean victory. What it does is create a power vacuum. All of a sudden, you have these smaller splinter groups fighting each other for control, and that can make the violence even more unpredictable and, frankly, a lot harder to get a grip on.
And just look at everything that's on the line here. This is so much bigger than just a soccer tournament. We're talking about Mexico's entire national reputation, its massive tourism industry, its ability to bring in foreign investment. I mean, the stakes just couldn't be any higher.
So we come back to the big question. After looking at all of this, is the World Cup actually in danger? And the honest answer is, it's not a simple yes or no.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. The physical security, the boots on the ground, that's a problem that can probably be managed. The real test is whether Mexico can convince the world, the fans, the sponsors, the teams, that it's safe. The final battle isn't for control of the streets, it's for control of the story. It's all about restoring belief. What happens in the next few weeks and months is absolutely critical. It's going to decide whether this crisis becomes just a small footnote in the story of a successful World Cup or if it's the thing that changes everything. And you can be sure of one thing, the whole world is watching to see how it plays out.